Hello, I'm Alison Evans and I'm a paper cut and textile artist, and I'm based at Artcore, Derby, at their Albert Street gallery, where I have a studio and workshop. I run workshops from there and I sell my artwork from there. And you can also look at my artwork on my website, which is www.delicut.co.uk. I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about myself. My first job was a tracer for British Rail in the days when they had tracers. So that was my first drawing experience, and then from there I worked as a garden designer, and I did that for quite a few years, about 35 years. I worked as a garden designer with my husband Graham, and it was good fun, and I really enjoyed that, but the financial crash meant that we stopped doing that business. And well, during the time when I was a garden designer, I saw paper cutting for the first time, and that was when we were on holiday in Switzerland. And the hotel that we stayed at, it was with my mum and dad, it was their 50th wedding anniversary, and the hotel had got all these beautiful little pictures all round the room of farmyard scenes and rural scenes, and it was all cut out black and white, and the art form was called Scherenshnitte. And I was very inspired by this and thought I'd like to have a go. So when I got home, I decided that I would have a go at designing one. So this is the first one. I've actually still got it here. I don't know if you can see this, which is on tracing paper. So this was the one that I made for Graham and myself for our 30th wedding anniversary, which was quite a few years ago, 2011. And up on the wall, I don't know if you can see that, I'll get it down so you can have a closer look, is the actual picture that I made. So it's all hand cut, and it's got different things to do with Graham and me. So on Graham's side, he was a Nottingham Forest fan, so we've got the forest tree, and he likes a drop of beer, so he's got his beer there, and I put a guitar in it and the music sign. And over here, this is my side, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little sewing machine and cooking, because I like cooking, so we've got lots of cooking implements and wine. And so I put the date and things on it, and it worked out quite well. Lots of people seemed to like it, and so I was asked to make them for other people. So I started doing commissions. This was while I was still garden designing. I just put that one down. So commissions that I have done, this is one that I did for a wedding, and I was sent this picture here of the couple that were getting married, and they asked me if I'd design their wedding invitations. So I came up with this design, which I'll show you. So that's the design that I did on tracing paper, and what you have to do is flip the design. So I put it onto paper, and then I cut it out, so it's like mirror image, so you cut it out on mirror image, and move that one out of the way, and this is what we came up with. So them on the tree, and I've used that in the wedding invitation. So if anybody would like commissions doing, I'm very happy to take on commissions. Another commission that I was given was a couple here, which was a wedding in 1978, and it was their anniversary. So this was all I got, this picture. So I asked for a few more, and this is what I came up with. So there's a couple there. This is a copy that I've done from my original cut work. So that's that one. And another commission that I got was one that I did. It was an amazing pub that was near where we lived when we lived in Nottingham, and that's for the Manvers Arms. And in this one, they used it for the menus. So I made this, and the guy who was the landlord had got 2 little dogs. So I put the little dogs on there. They were little Chihuahua dogs that he'd rescued. So they went on there, and they used that for the menus and for the placemats. He had placemats made. We had it etched onto acrylic for the placemats. So that worked really well. So that's the commissions. I'll just pop those down there. So when I am paper cutting, what I use is one of these little knives here. It's, I don't know if you can see, I'll put it close up to the screen. It's a tiny little knife, and the end on it swivels round. So you can cut out circles and curves, and it's easy, well, I find it easier to use than using a straight knife. So I'll show you some more of the work that I've done. So this was a design, get it the right way around. I'll put it against me because I've got a black t-shirt on, for Scherenshnitte, because a few years ago we lived in France, and when we lived in France I had a little shop there, and the area that we lived in was the Poitou-Charentes. So I did this design and put the little Citroën C2 car on here. And so that's the original design. This is the original paper cut of that. So as you can see, I've got the drawing on the back of it, and then that's the actual design when it's cut out. So from being cut out by hand by me, I then scan this into my computer and turn it into a file that can be laser cut. And since discovering this was my son who showed me how to do this. He's a technical wizard and I'm not, so he showed me how to do this. So what we can do from this is get them laser cut. So this is the same picture, but laser cut. So it meant that I could actually start selling them to people in France. So I opened a little shop in France selling my paper cut artwork. So another one that I've done in France. Oh, and I put fabric behind. This is because I love fabrics. So I decided to start putting the fabric at the back and bringing the image forward, so it gives you a sort of 3D effect. So that's that one. And this is another one that I did in France. Montmorillon was the place where we had the little shop. It was the most beautiful, picturesque town, and it was called Cité de Écrit, which is the writer's city. It was amazing. We had a really good time there. I had the shop for, I think it was about a year, and that was really good fun. This is also from France. This was used as a menu. This was a menu for a little bar that we used to go to called Edna's, and they used to do afternoon teas in there. That's the little church in the village where we lived, and I've changed it. I've put tea time in there, so it actually said Edna's in there, and now it says tea time, so it's just a general card. And what else have I got? So I'll put that one to the side there. So another way of doing the pictures is so that they can go up against windows. I'm just looking for them. Oh, here we go, look. So I now live in Belper, which is the most amazing place as well. I'm very lucky to have lived in all these beautiful places. So this one is a design that I did of the East Mill when we moved to Belper. Now with this design, it's sandwiched in glass, so I can't show you the window, but you can hang it in the window and then you get the shadows onto the floor from your cutwork design. So I'm very, yeah, I keep that in my window in Belper, so people see that. And then another one that I've done with the same technique is this one with the snake's head fritillaria and a little lacewing fly. And this is one that we put in the window as well, so people can see this. Oh, I don't know, it's I think that what you're seeing is actually the mirror image of things, but that's the best that I can do really. So I've also done them of different buildings around. So I did a few craft fairs at Haddon Hall last year. So I designed a cutwork for Haddon Hall, which is this one. So that's the little card of Haddon Hall. I think you're seeing it mirror image, but it's, so if I turn it that way, can you see it? Does that work? So that's Haddon Hall, and I started using, when I was making the cards, I started using fabrics to make the cards more interesting. And one of my favourite places to buy fabric, when I can afford it, is Liberty's. So I've used Liberty prints in here, you can see. And that's the Haddon Hall, so that's a card, and that's the Haddon Hall as a mounted paper cutwork, so that's one that you can fit into a little frame, and you can frame them mirror image, not mirror image, you can frame them so you get the shadows, so you put the paper cut at the front and then the fabric at the back. So that's that one. And oh, this was an early one that I did. Let me show this one. When we were garden designers, I don't know if you can see this one, I made this one. I don't know if it's back to front, but it says Gardens Co, and that's that was our business, Gardens Co. So with that one, I sort of curled the paper out, so you can see it gives shadows and things on the back, and I've just used plain paper on that one. So that's that. And what else have I got to show you? Another paper cutwork, Bramley Apple. So I did the Bramley Apple food fair, and I created this for the Bramley Apple, which proved to be very popular in Southall, and well, hopefully I might be doing it again this year. I think it's in October, so I suppose it depends how things go as to whether we'll get to do that one again. And I'll just show you one more paper cutwork, which is one of my favourites. This was when we lived in Nottingham. Meet Me at the Left Lion. This is the original one. It's got the drawing on the back. And this is from the lions at the market square, because it was something that everybody did. We all used to meet at the Left Lion. So that was the one that I made from that. Oh, put that down. And yeah, so I've turned that into a little card as well, with a lion on it. So it's got the little lion motif here that can be hung up. We use it as a Christmas decoration as well, that one. So that's the Left Lion card, which goes with the Nottingham one. So I showed you the knife, didn't I? So it's a very simple art form, because all you need is a knife like this, which aren't very expensive. I bought these, they arrived today actually, and I thought, well, I could actually show you some paper cutting now I've actually got my knives, because all my equipment is in Artcore. So these knives aren't very expensive. I think this is about £3. So you just need the knife, you need a metal ruler for cutting, and a cutting board, just a normal cutting board to cut on. and it's quite an easy thing to do. So I'll just show you one more thing that I made, because I really love sewing as well. So I don't know if anybody knows about my plants, because I make plants out of fabric. So there's one. I call them fancy plants. So this is one that one of the first ones that I made that we've got at home. And it's got I think that's a Paul Smith fabric underneath it. It's a velvet on the top. So that's one that was made with a sewing machine. And then I've got the little ones that I've been doing, because I didn't have my sewing machines until recently. So I've just been making these little ones at home that we've been hand sewing. So I'm hoping to do some workshops with this at Artcore when things get back to normal again. Or I might even be doing some workshops with the video, I'm not sure. We'll see how this one goes. And there's another one that I made. So this is what I've been up to sewing, as well as lots of other sewing projects. So the other thing that I've got is, the bags that I make. So I'll just show you, that's one of my backpacks that I've made out of fabric. And I'll be selling those at Artcore, and hopefully online as well when I get my shop sorted out. So I think I've covered everything. Oh, I know, yeah. So the other things we make is I get these little wood cuts. I design them and laser cut and put little pins on the back, and so they're brooches. So we put those onto cards. So I think next time, so that was my presentation for today. I hope that that was okay. I'd like to say thank you to Artcore, and to tell you that tomorrow the artist who will be on Takeover is Nisa Khan. So she'll be on tomorrow from 4 o'clock, and hopefully I'll be back to maybe show you doing a workshop with you online on one of the crafternoons, which might be plants, I'm not sure. So has anybody got any questions before I go about anything? I keep seeing these little things going up. Any questions from anybody about paper cutting? If not, you can find my work on my Facebook page, delicate.co.uk, and also on my website, www.delicate.co.uk. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you all have a nice afternoon. Thank you very much. Bye.